Hello friends.
Good morning. How are you? First of all, let me introduce myself. I am Dr. RAMESH Sharma and currently I am teaching at an Ambedkar University, Delhi in India. Before that, I have taught education technology at Wawasan Open University in Malaysia. And in the past, I have worked as Director of Distance Education at University of Guyana for the Institute of Distance and Continuing Education. This country is in South America, and I have also worked as regional director of Indira Gandhi National Open University in India, and I have been a visiting professor to the Philippines Open University and the National University of Bahia in Brazil.
In this presentation, we will learn about the pedagogy and how we can promote self-directed learning through virtual worlds. But first of all, let me ask you how many worlds we live in. Any idea? Okay, let me show you. There are three kinds of worlds. The real world, in which we physically live. Then the digital world, that is the 2D web or the internet. And I think most of our time we spend in this digital world. And third is the virtual world, that is the 3D web kind of world. These saw their emergence due to various developments. For example, the emergence of massive multiplayer online games such as World of Warcraft. You must have either played or seen. Then metaverses, the virtual worlds that are primarily social in nature, which are like Second Life. Then we have certain learning environments which are more focused on learning and training environments. And the other kind of universe are known as intraverse, where putting up a virtual world inside a corporate firewall, or paraverse. These are also called as mirror worlds. You must have used or seen the example as Google Earth. So let us first see what is a virtual world. Basically, it is a computer-based simulated environment, and where the users, they take the form of certain avatars, where the people, they can participate into either two-dimensional or three-dimensional representations. And these involves sometimes the auditory as well as the touch sensations. Let me show you an example. This is the Second Life based Chilbo headquarters, where we have regularly conducted certain meetings and conferences. And very recently, I have tried this another application, Virbela. Let me show you a quick, very short preview of how this virtual world looks like. Okay, these virtual worlds, they allow us social networking, social learning, and how we can interact with each other by establishing certain virtual communities among us. This is an example of our group, the Virtual World Education Asia, in which we have a team. There are certain editors, advisors, and contributors. You can see here my avatar also, and our good friends, Mr. Hajime. He is also another presenter in this same conference, along with Ms. Ines Setyavan. Can see her, she is the editor of this group, and we have David and Anna Frida who are and Mark CV. They are wonderful team members of us. So these virtual worlds, not only through the teaching learning process, in fact many of the organizations and professionals, they are conducting their even virtual conference nowadays. This is an example of Lava Virtual World this year, the conference conducted. In fact, they were saying that they had no idea on how it will be, they will be using it. And then it was held fully online in Lava Virtual World, where multiple opportunities to discuss, to network and interact without putting out, say, the physical movement of the people. So this was used for their meeting. Technology have predicted various developments, and here you can see that the Gartner hype cycle also has presumed that there are certain emerging technologies which have affected how we are transacting certain processes. So through the technology trigger, and then the social virtual worlds, how they have emerged by going into somewhere around the mid 20s, the expectations, and then but more or less now the past few years the technology in this area has a little bit stabilized, and we have seen good examples of how the virtual worlds are being used by the teachers, by the institutions, and other professionals in various areas of application. These virtual worlds, they have attracted billions of users. This is a little, you can see that this study is a little older, but even by that measure, 1 billion users at that time, you can imagine now currently multi-billion users, they are taking advantage of these virtual worlds for various purposes. We will see in what ways these virtual worlds, they are being used here. And multi user dungeons, the metaverse platforms, they have evolved from the text based only up to the fully graphic massive environments. And you can see that this is an example of the fully 3D kind of virtual world environment, Gods Unchained, which is a turn-based digital card trading game that operates on Ethereum blockchain technology. Let us see some of the examples of virtual worlds. Second Life has been one of the most popular among them. Then we have Active Worlds. Then this is called as Onverse or Online Universe, which is a 3D virtual world and social network where the people, they hang out, meet each other and play together. Then this is an interesting application called as Twinity. It is a 3D chat community, and here the people, they interact with each other, they create certain groups and friendship. Another example is Small Worlds. It was when it was on offer, worked as an online virtual world and social network service. It was created by Outsmart Games, a privately owned company based in Auckland, New Zealand. and it used Adobe Flash and ran through the browser. As you know now, the Adobe Flash has not been supported. Instead, the HTML5 technology has taken over from there. Then Caneva is a product of an American video game company based in Atlanta, Caneva, and this is also allows people to create 3D virtual worlds with the promotion of social networking and shared media. Open Simulator, OpenSim is another open source example, very popular among the education community. So how these things they have emerged, and let us see some of the developments which have happened in the space of virtual worlds. Initially, as early as possible in the early 70s, when the technology was getting developed. So with the emergence of multi-user dungeons, short of those gaming devices, these things they started. And then there were certain experiments by NASA as virtual worlds in around mid 80s with the emergence of, the coin of the term virtual reality by Jaron Lanier in 1986. That was a big development, and around the same time the virtual reality things, and they were got major boost because of the uh, development of creation of World Wide Web by some Tim Berners-Lee in 1989, and these things they were a turning point. You must have all seen about the movie The Matrix by Keanu Reeves, and I'm eagerly waiting for it. Heard that the Matrix 4 is going to be released very soon in the theaters, so you will also enjoy it. This movie has been a milestone in the in this direction, which gave a new kind of a video and a cinematography, that how we can use and how we can show the simulated worlds uh, uh, to the users from there. Then came the Second Life, the pre-alpha version, which was released by the Linden Labs, and in the 2001, and very soon the Second Life was released in June 2003 as a fully 3D virtual world by San Francisco based Linden Lab. And here the residents, they occupy certain space and do all kind of transactions. In fact, they have their own currency, the Second Life currency, the Linden dollars, where everything can be transacted and the business runs as would have been in the real world situations from there. Then the one of the most popular, the massively multiplayer online role-playing game, the World of Warcraft, and it made big changes into the way how this field is developed. You may be knowing about the Horizon report. Till 2-3 years ago, it was being regularly annual report released by New Media Consortium, but now it has been taken over by Educause. And in its report also, they try to identify various trends, various challenges, and various developments in the area of education technology, which would have a big impact on learning, teaching, and creative inquiry, within 5 to 6 years. So there are certain technologies which are immediately impacting the teaching learning field within 1 to 2 years, then 3 to 4 years, and 5 to 6 years. Those in its report, they have also regularly mentioned that the augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality, and the haptic technologies they have. Uh, I have also been a member of the higher education expert panel for this mm, Horizon report there. And these technologies, they have been found that they have a big impact on education, teaching, learning, the way we conduct it, because of their certain inherent characteristics which are useful for education. So not only that, the organizations, the Virtual World Education Roundtable, and initially it was called as the Second Life Education Roundtable. It has been developed, and you can see that very latest, still it is going on since when in 2008 it was founded, and very latest they have that ethnographic exhibits of the two cultures from the Republic of Panama. In September the meeting was held, and the meeting is held very regularly. You can visit their website from there. These platforms, they promote social learning, and they have a very big impact on teaching learning. Like this is the Natural History Museum of Vienna, and not only that, uh, I have a group of researchers in Brazil. There, the researchers, they created this São João da Bahia theater, which was a very old theater in the 19th century in uh, Bahia, Salvador, in Brazil, which was later on got burnt in a big fire, and its 3D virtual museum was created. The application was Unity to create it. So as to give the experience of the museum for the current generation, because that the theater is no more, it doesn't exist anymore. You can see that the on the left, these are the original pictures, and they were simulated using the software, so that it gives you the experience on how it worked at that particular time. There are certain examples in Second Life, like the students, they can understand the radioactive, and how with the help of those dating we can find the uh, the life of a particular specimen. And the Natural History Museum of Vienna, it has a very good website, and it shows various like about dinosaurs, about sculptures, about the history, about the culture of European architects, etc., that you would like to visit to learn more about it. These virtual worlds, they allow the users, the teachers, the students, the visitors to teleport from one location to another location. So you can travel very fast from here and can visit various places. Like the students, they are studying isotopes, how these are. In addition to the US National Weather Service, it also monitors the virtual world, and the NOAA, the US National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, they have their page in the space in the Second Life, where they regularly display about the weather and the climatic changes which are happening around there. And this is the page for oceanographic studies, and the research has also been shown that they have good impact on the learning attainments for the students. These have been used for say like science topics, basic of DNA extraction, Then this is the page of the University of Leicester in UK for inherited genetic disease tutorial using a virtual lab, where the students they can participate into it and work on their own way through the case studies on how the sample of DNA for its testing for a particular inherited disease. Then we can involve the students in a very interactive way, say like editing certain content. And not only that, it has been used in this platform as its application for even for dramatics, for literature, and there's related fields. This is a good example of the dreams are the second life, about the reading fragments of Gerard the Nerval's text, who said that the text began with dreams are a second life. And this is a good example which takes you around the streets and how the things they were at that particular moment. There, the various educational institutions, they have also opened their locations in the second life, where they conduct admissions, the teaching is conducted, and the meeting point, like that. So you have this page of Stanford University. This is University of West of England. This is Bunny Isles for Kenya. This is Indiana University campus in Second Life. This is Virtual University of Edinburgh, which is a research institute, and the research is carried out there. University of Delaware, they have their presence in Second Life. The NASA page. Now, there are certain research studies which have been conducted, like the Virtual University of Edinburgh. They indicated that the real life scenarios which are difficult in real life, for example, managing major incidents or any accident investigation or cost based on scenarios for law students, etc. These can be successfully uh, created using virtual worlds, and the students they can gain that experience from there. Then these have been found to be very effective for procedural learning, preparation for field work or practical work, and learning how to operate intricate or expensive equipments using in that field. This also help us in exploring the digital identity, because the more open-ended scenario work well in psychology and social science disciplines if our target is to explore students' own perceptions of their in-world identity. And these rely on students understanding more than other case studies. Then this is Loyalist College. They also had some research and found that the simulations, the trainings, they prepare the real guards on the US-Canadian border. And so these were used as that. Professor Tony Bates, the world famous researcher, has also uh, highlighted the significance of virtual worlds in education, because here the students, when they adopt certain characters and the situations are portrayed, so they become active participants in those events. And these learnings there, they since they cover the real life applications, so the learning here uh, it brings out uh, uh, good attainment of the learning outcomes in the students there. These can be used for personality development through the enhanced content learning. So these students, they develop confidence, they develop observational skills, and the capacity to respond to developing situations into that. Dr. Rudman identified 4 areas where these virtual worlds they can benefit teaching and learning, like in field trips, in the mediated environments, having interactions, and while conducting certain activity, maintenance of anonymity from there. But there are certain cases also where it may not prove to be that much beneficial. For example, the virtual chalk and talk, where we want to replace lectures for students at a distance, because immersion doesn't add value beyond what is more accessible technologies there. And then it may not be that much effective for unplanned open-ended activities. Means if you just visit any virtual world and then you go here there, but you don't know what to do there, like that. And it can be more of just as simple as a surprising addition, uh, like that. Childs identified 4 pedagogical approaches of using virtual worlds. When we, as a associative pedagogy for transmitting information, as cognitive pedagogy for problem solving, as social constructivist, where the ideas are formed by discussion, and connectivist, where through the interactions among the people, the users, they they connect with each other and form certain community. And the most successful case studies, they fit into the cognitive or the social constructive uh, categories, because here we use well-defined context or situations. In addition to that, the game-based scenarios, they also have been found to be very much useful as compared to the restricted or open-ended approaches in teaching learning. There are certain trends which are nowadays much in use. For example, the Second Life nowadays, they are using blockchain technologies, and some around 10 years ago, when it was created, it was considered as to be the next big thing, but then it faded into oblivion. Some sort of didn't caught that much attention of the media. However, very recently now it has been revived, and the high fidelity, which is a sort of a next generation platform for virtual worlds. Then the blockchain based virtual projects, like the uh, Decentraland. Another platform is Crypto Voxels, which is based on the Ethereum blockchain. And here the players, they can buy land, build stores, they can create art galleries, they using the editing tools, the avatars, the text chat, and the voice chats. They can be integrated in these platforms. Another example is Somnium Space. The further developments, they are happening, say like Facebook Horizon. It is coming soon. Things are there, and here it will be very good. Means for the students, because they love to solve puzzles. They can play as team sports. The students, they can test their own imagination, and with the help of this, they can create new worlds by working on community-based projects. Not only that, it is believed that the conferences are also, the concerts are also being transformed, and this is a good example, sansar.com, varying from there. So thank you so much. With this, I conclude my presentation.